Good evening, Michigan. I'm happy you're with us tonight. I'm Clayton Cummins in for Sarah Swistak. There are a lot of ideas out there for making schools safer. Tonight, police and school leaders are asking for 3 of them, and it won't be cheap. Our Marcus Dash tells us about the $120 million plan and what parents are saying about it.
When you send your kid to a public school, you're literally sending them off with a bunch of strangers and saying, I hope everything goes well.
Many of the parents I talked with feel the same way. Danny Perk thinks the most important part of the plan is adding a familiar face to help protect the school in the form of school resource officers.
I would want them to have anybody and everybody available in order to keep it from happening in our area.
This week's Maryland shooting ended when a school resource officer killed the gunman. Despite that, Sheriff Scott Rigglesworth says there are still a lot of misconceptions about the job. He says some people mistakenly compare them to hired security guards.
They got full arrest powers, they're armed, they have all the tricks of the trade that every other cop has. They're just assigned to school buildings.
On the other hand, Lansing Superintendent Yvonne Kamal-Kanul says the biggest part of the safety plan would be the addition of more counselors. She says students don't always get the attention they need.
1,500 kids in a high school running, between classes and all that, and you have 2 counselors or 3 counselors. When does a student have an opportunity to talk to an adult about whatever it is that troubles them?
Parents told me they are just relieved to see schools and police getting away from the idea of arming teachers.
Having counselors and trained professionals, whether it be officers or counselors, is a lot better than having the alternative.
They're there to teach. They're not there to take down a terrorist or anything.
As Marcus Dash reporting, the proposal also calls for new security equipment like metal detectors at schools. Some buildings already have them. The next step for the reform plan is to get state lawmakers on board. That may not be easy with a $120 million price tag. A lack of counselors is a big problem all over Michigan. We'll tell you how far below average our state is and how that affects students later on in this newscast.